Hello, friends. Welcome to Plant the Change Straight Talk, empowering the next generation to grow into compassionate, conscious citizens of the world. For years, I was a vegetarian. I didn't eat meat, but I still consumed dairy and mainly cheese. At the same time, I was living with progressive MS and lupus. I was legally blind. I was walking with a cane. I was disabled, and I was struggling just to get through each day. I was a mom, a wife, a founder of a school, and I was fighting every day for a life I didn't recognize anymore. Then one day, I saw a video on Facebook. I was literally in bed and just scrolling around, and the video had a cow with a newborn calf taken away, and the calf was being fed soy milk, which really surprised me, and the mother cow was crying, and it was very upset. I was hearing what they were saying and reading the information on the screen, and I learned that the baby cows were taken away from their moms and fed soy milk. And the mothers went through this process over and over again, crying for their children. And then when they are spent, which they basically are too old and worn out to have babies anymore, and old meaning 3 years old, they are sent to slaughter, just like other cows. And I didn't know that. And I thought, is this real? Is this true? Am I being lied to? What is this craziness? Happy cows give milk. What am I seeing on Facebook? I sat there and I researched it, and I found out it was all true. And I was just shocked. And I was in my 40s, and I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't justify doing that. So I just immediately stopped consuming dairy that minute. And actually, like I said, for me, it was cheese. I saw it, I understood it, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be part of it. That's why I was vegetarian, because I thought I wasn't harming any animals. And then when I realized I was like, okay, I'm done with that. No more dairy for me. 2 days later, I woke up and I got out of bed and I walked to the bathroom and I felt my legs, fully felt my legs, like no pins and needles at all, no numbness. And I stood there in shock. And then I went back to bed and I realized something even more surprising. My brain was clear. I had constant brain fog that crippled me for years. And literally, it was something I felt every day, 24/7. Sometimes it was worse than others, but it was always there. And at this moment, it was gone and my brain was clear. And I turned to my husband, and I remember this literally like it was yesterday. And I was like, I don't have brain fog right now. I literally can feel my legs right now. They feel completely normal. And this was the first time in over a decade I could say that. And the only thing that changed in my life was my diet. And I wasn't having any dairy, cheese anymore. No medication had changed. No treatment had changed. There was no shifts in anything I was doing, except I hadn't consumed any dairy for 48 hours. And then I started researching it, going, is this why? Because it didn't make sense to me. So I started researching dairy and MS, dairy and autoimmune disease, chronic illness and food. And I'm just researching all these things. And I couldn't believe it because I kept finding study after study, peer-reviewed articles, personal testimonies. Just one thing after another that documented links between dairy and inflammation, autoimmune flare-ups, and neurological symptoms. I could not believe it. No doctor had ever suggested this to me, not once. I'd been across 5 different states with dozens of doctors. Never once had anyone ever suggested anything about diet changes or food. That was the moment I realized I needed to go all in. I wasn't just going to change what I ate. I was going to learn every single thing I could about food as medicine. And the more I learned, the more I changed. But then I'd be at school and I'd look around and I'd see our students eating their lunches, and they'd have all kinds of animal products, processed cheese, chicken nuggets. And I'd go home, and honestly, I literally would cry. I knew what I had learned, and I was handing this food to kids. Hello, friends. You can help make a difference by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the Plant the Change podcast. And you can visit us at solidrockflorida.org to learn more about Solid Rock Community School and the Sanctuary at Solid Rock. Your support makes a real impact and helps plant the change. Our Compassionate Humane Education framework at chiimpact.org is now available for schools, sanctuaries, educational programs, and families who want to bring kindness, empathy, and compassion-centered learning into their own communities. Whether you're an educator, parent, or part of an animal rescue or sanctuary, the Chi framework provides ready-to-use tools that uplift learning environments and build a more compassionate world. For more information or to enroll, visit chiimpact.org today. So let me share a few facts with you. By the age of 10, nearly 80% of children in the U.S. already show signs of fatty streaks in their arteries, the early stages of heart disease. That's pretty crazy. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats like hot dogs, bacon, and deli meat as Class 1 carcinogens, the same as tobacco. Children raised on plant-based diets have a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity. Diets high in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains have been linked to improved cognitive performance and better concentration in school. Diets high in animal products have been linked to increased risks of cancer, diabetes, MS, lupus, and autoimmune disorders. Saturated fat and cholesterol overload animal products. They are the primary source of saturated fat and cholesterol in the American diet, both of which increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes, even in children. Dairy and acne, eczema. Studies have shown a strong link between dairy consumption and skin conditions like acne and eczema in children and teens. Animal protein and bone loss. Despite the dairies industry claims, high intake of animal protein, including dairy, can lead to calcium loss from bones, increasing the risk of osteoporosis over time. Animal products, especially dairy and red meat, can increase levels of IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, a hormone that promotes the growth of cancer cells. Foodborne illnesses and antibiotic resistance, animal products are the leading cause of this. E. coli, Salmonella, Listeria, they contribute to the global crisis of antibiotic resistance due to overuse in factory farming. Gosh, when I learned all this, I felt so sick. I couldn't believe it. Can you? I couldn't keep giving that food to kids and then sleep at night. The guilt was so stressful to me. I would lay in bed and think, what if someone gets cancer or has MS? I would feel somewhat responsible because I knew the facts and I knew the risks, and you can't unknow. So I made a choice. I will not be one to provide animal products any more than I'd hand any child a cigarette or pour them a shot of alcohol. Our students can eat whatever they choose to do outside of school, and they are always welcome to bring their own lunch. But if we're providing the food, I'm not providing animal products on our menu. That's it. Not now, not ever. Instead, I made the commitment to giving them nourishing plant-based food, meals that are kind, healthy, and aligned with what I believe in. Now we grow food with our students. We have our own seed-to-table garden, and they're involved in planting and harvesting the crops. It's hands-on, it's empowering, and it's a great way to get kids outside and being physical. We have raised beds and hydroponic gardens, and the students are eating vegetables they never even tried before. We hired our own plant-based chef who cooks and creates delicious, fresh, colorful food, some from our own garden. At Solid Rock, we make plant-based eating easy, delicious, and fun for kids. Our lunches include kid-friendly, accidentally vegan classics like pasta with marinara sauce, bean tacos, and baked potatoes. Simple, familiar meals kids already love. We also have whole food plant-based options like hearty grain bowls and veggie stir-fries and roasted root veggies and lentil soups, fresh salads, and tropical fruit cups, nutrient-rich and made from scratch. And for the kids who love those comfort foods, we also have what we call transition foods, which are plant-based versions of the foods that they're used to, like nuggets, burgers, and dogs. Our meals are thoughtfully prepared, allergy-conscious, and always 100% plant-based. So whether your child is adventurous or picky, they'll find something they love, while you get peace of mind knowing it's healthy and compassionate. Because we care deeply about our students' health, now and for the future. So we've chosen plant-based meals because the research is clear. Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes help reduce the risk of heart disease, cancer, obesity, and type 2 diabetes, even in children. We serve food that supports strong immune systems, better focus, more energy, and long-term wellness. But it's not just about personal health either. It's about the health of our planet. Plant-based foods are significantly more sustainable, using fewer natural resources, producing less pollution, and helping to protect ecosystems for future generations. We're proud to offer food that's both nourishing and responsible, meals that are good for our kids and the world they'll grow up in. We can't control what anyone eats outside of school, but while they're here with us and eating the food that we're giving them, we're committed to feeding them in a way that reflects care, responsibility, and respect for their growing bodies and the planet they call home. So that is why we serve plant-based lunches, because health and sustainability go hand in hand. If this message resonates with you, if you're someone who believes our kids deserve every chance at a healthy future, you're not alone. Whether you're a parent, an educator, or simply someone trying to make better choices, you're part of a growing community that values wellness, compassion, and sustainability. It all starts with awareness. It grows with action. And sometimes it's as simple as what we choose to put on our school lunch tray. The Plant the Change podcast explores how education drives societal transformation, nurtures compassionate and responsible citizens, and plants the seeds of change for a better tomorrow. At Solid Rock, Florida, we're a nonprofit committed to compassionate, humane education, an approach that blends academic excellence, ethical responsibility, and emotional growth. You can help make a difference by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the Plant the Change podcast. You can also visit us at solidrockflorida.org to learn more about Solid Rock Community School and Sanctuary at Solid Rock. Your support makes a real impact and helps plant the change. Together, we can redefine the future of education and create a world guided by compassion and ethical responsibility. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep making a difference.